Hello and welcome back to the Linux Panic YouTube channel. In this video we are going to be going over it is part 2 of our Linux from scratch version 11.3 SystemD installation. So let's get into the video. Last time we left off we had just finished getting everything set up the terminal environment, finished downloading all the files, confirmed everything is there, and confirmed everything is a-okay and ready to go. So we now need to get into setting up the technical toolchain and making sure that the things that we need are ready and raring to go. So, probably wondering, what's this? This is just a warning saying, hey look, you are now actually starting to do things that could break things if you do not pay attention. So this warning is here just saying, don't blindly type in commands, use this utility to make sure you're tracking everything. But we're going to blindly entering commands and not do any tracking because we have video for that. So, first things first, click next. Technical toolchain notes, this just goes through the process of explaining it all. No, I'm not going to go through the process of explaining it all because, Jesus Christ, that's a lot of information to go through. So, first thing we need to do is make sure that the LFS command is set correctly. So, it's just echo LFS. Echo LFS, as we can see here, this is set up correctly, which is fine. That's exactly what we want. So we carry on. Make sure the output shows a path to the LFS's partition mount point, which in this case is MNT-LFS. That's fine. Build instructions assume that requirements including symbolic clicks have been sent correctly, which they have, and important. Here's a synopsis build process. Place all the sources and patches in directory accessible from there. Change into the directory. For each package, use the tar program. Extract the package. Ensure that you are as LFS. When doing so, do not use any method except tar to extract the source code, notably using the copy recursively commands to copy the source code tree somewhere else can destroy the links, timestamps, and causing issues generally, which is a no-no. We want to avoid that. Change into the directory, follow the instructions for building the package, change back into the sources when build is complete, and delete the extracted, and move on. So you may notice that some packages have a pass1. This is why it's important to remove the source tree once we're done, because we have to do a couple passes in some packages, such as bin utils and GCC. There's multiple passes, which, as we can see here, there's 2 for GCC straight into the cross toolchain, which is expected. So, first things first, this is the cross compiler. This is what you'd need. The programs compiled on this chapter get placed under tools directory, just to keep them separate, and this is where we need all the tools. So, this first package is 1 standard build unit. Now, this is how long 1 would take. So, if we come across a package that has 40 standard build units, which, if I remember correctly, we will in the future, then it would be 40 times this one as a guide. It's an estimation, not a hard and fast, but this is how long it should take. So first things first, we need to cd into LFS sources, and we've confirmed that here it is bin utils. So first thing we need to do is tar-xvf bin utils. And now that's going through, we need to have a look here to see what this requires. And we cd into bin utils. This requires us to make a separate build directory. That's fine. And this is what we need to run to compile. So in this case, I'm also going to add a time script. So to do that, we can just wrap it in time, so it's brackets, configure, and make install at the time. So again, it's just, these are the compiler options. We don't need to add a time to the compiler options because it's just the compiler options. And now it's these 2. Compile the package, install the package. Now, to time the make, it is just time, and then this is the section where we choose how many cores we want to use. Because I have 6 cores for this virtual machine, I'm just going to do time make-j6. So J is say, hey, look, these are the cores, 6 are the numbers, and then just hit enter. And this is going to go through everything, compile it, and then this will then spit out a time at the end saying this is how long it actually took to do. So this just very much depends on your system. For me, 4 GHz processor running at, well, it's 4 GHz processor with 8 cores even. This is using 6 of them. And from there, just wait for it to finish. It's going to go through. And once it's done, it'll just say, hey, look, I'm done. Thank you. And then go from there. So this is now where you just enter the waiting game. Because it is just a matter of babysitting everything up until around about chapter 9, we just have to sit and wait. It's just as simple as that. So, for example, if I were making this on my server, I could say use 20 out your 24 cores. It would use 20 out my 24 cores and be like that for some packages. But in this case, it's just a wait and see. So we will return once this package has finished compiling. Okay, we have now returned. Now you're probably wondering what do these time means. We just want to look at the top one. It took 1 minute and 34 seconds to compile, so that's how long it took. Now that we've completed that, we need to come back here and just see here. This is just make install. So we make install. So time make install. This will install everything. Again, this won't take anywhere near as long because it took 3 seconds. That's no bother. Now, as is standard course for this, what we need to do is we need to leave this directory and then remove binutils, the folder, not the sources, because we will cry. So this is the directory. That is fine. So we want to do rm-r binutils. Yes, this is going to say, hey, look, some of these are copy protected. That's fine. We were expecting that. We clear this, come back here and have a look at GCC. This may have different options. In this case, it does. Frequent misunderstandings about this chapter. The procedures are the same as every other chapter, as explained in package build instructions. First extract GCC tarball from the sources directory, then change into the directory, and then proceed with below. Because MPFR, GMP, and MPC are all inside the GCC directory, so people got a bit confused saying, I don't know what to do, why is this different? Don't worry about it. This is expected. So, GCC. So, what we need to do, tar-xvf, xvf gcc, it'll then go through. Now, you don't have to add the V here. This is just a verbose and showing you what's going on, so you can gauge how much longer it's going to take. But from here, we need to wait for this to finish extracting everything. And then we need to cd into the directory. As we can see here, it's just done. So cd into GCC. And we need to come to this section here, copy this. It's just extracting all of these and moving them to a different place. Make sure you hit enter on the last one. That's now done. And if you're on 64-bit hosts, set the default directory name for the 64-bit libraries to lib. So again, just copy this, enter it in, enter into the build directory, copy the compiler instructions. Now, this may take a little bit longer because of the amount of compiler instructions. It's just got to go through and set everything off. So this may take a little longer. In this case, this one didn't. Some really small packages with only like 1 or 2 lines of compiler instructions can take so long. It is unbelievable. But now that we've done that, it's just a matter of coming down to compiling the package. So we can do that by doing time make -j6, j6 being the amount of cores, hit enter, and then once it's done, it'll then spit out a time for how long it took. As you can see, this is a bit choppy, but that's because this is pulling from the system resources as is expected. So this is good sign it's working. So we will return once the package is finished compiling. Okay, now that we have completed the compilation of this package, it did not take 61 minutes to do. Holy hell. More like 14. It did not take 61 minutes. I don't know where it managed to get don't know where it managed to just 61 minutes out of. Had it been with Encore, it may have taken 61 minutes, but it did not take 61 minutes. So it's always worth taking everything just a little pinch of salt. Anyway, now that we have done that, what we need to do is we need to install. So just time make install. And now that we've done that, the command below shows an example of nested command substitution using two methods, back quotes and a $ bracket construction. It could be rewritten using the same method for both substitutions, but it's just words. Yes. Yes. So now that we've done that, we just back out the directory. And rm-r gcc. It's going to say, oh, you can't do that. It's right protected. Yes, 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 yes. Clear the screen off. This time it is the Linux 6.1.11 kernel headers. So it's less than one standard build units, but it's 1.5 gigabytes in size. So because we're not actually compiling anything, it's just make Mr. Proper, do the headers, it's fine. So first thing we need to do is we need to do tar-xvf the Linux API, so it's just Linux. So this will go through. Now we could actually have a look to see what's here, just to make 100% sure that we aren't messing with anything that we shouldn't be messing with. See, that's gonna, well, of course it's gonna say that, but want to come here, we just want to come to MNT, LFS, sources, and scroll down until we come across L. So again, it's just Linux, there's no Linux API headers, it's just Linux, so that's fine. And what we want to do is we want to make Mr. Proper. I want to cd into the Linux kernel first, so cd Linux, and then make Mr. Proper. So this will make sure there's no stale files, which is exactly fine. And now extract the user, so just run this, basically. It does as it says. It's going to do everything it needs to do. It shouldn't take too long because, again, it's 0.1 of a standard build unit. It's going through with relative speed. Now, this would be a perfect opportunity to just have a quick sip of your coffee. And then immediately regret it because it's a cold black coffee and you just, yeah. Once you've done that, hit enter. Give it a couple of whacks. Clear. So the last thing that was done was copy -rv user include out. No, that's done. So cd back down /rm-r linux. Again, just the directory, not the tar file, because you will cry if you get rid of the tar file, because you then have to download it again. So we now need to do glibc, so it's just tar-xvf glibc .tar.xz. The reason why it's like, it's because there's a patch file that is the same up until the patch, so that's why it's having an issue. So cd into glibc and create the symbolic links for the compliance. Additionally, for 64-bit to create compatibility symbolic link required for proper operation of a dynamic library folder. So again, it's just whack enter. Some programs use non-compliant directory to store runtime data. Apply the following patch to make sure that the programs store them in the correct compliant location. So again, just patch. Make the directory. and then ensure that the LD config and SLN utilities are installed in the correct place. Again, just do that. Feed it the configuration options. And whilst that works, during this stage, the following warning may appear. These auxiliary programs are missing, yada yada. This missing or incompatible MSGFMT program is generally harmless. It is part of the gettext package which the host distribution should provide. And there have also been reports that this package may fail using parallel makes. If that occurs, just rerun the command with -J1. We're not going to give it the ability to fail, so we're just going to do time make. Just eliminate the possibility of failure straight off the bat. So again, we're down here, so it's just time make. Now we have to wait for this to finish compiling, so once again, we will return once it's finished. Okay, now that we have completed the compilation of glibc, we just need to check see if there's anything else we need to do, which of course there is. We need to, first off, now install. If LFS is not properly set, and despite the recommendations, you are building as root, the next command will install the newly glibc host instead of the tools directory, which will then absolutely destroy everything. So this is why we need to make 100% sure that if we do echo LFS is set, which is fine. Install. Now we need to fix the hard-coded path to the executable loader in the LDD script with this. Just need to wait for this to finish. And once we've done that, it's absolutely imperative that we run a sanity check to make sure that everything is working. We should get a requesting program interpreter, but we'll do that once this is finished. Again, because it's installing the tools, it may take a little while longer, but that is, again, expected because, well, it took 14 minutes to do, so it's just a sit and wait. So once you're going to speed up, I don't want to tempt fate here. Don't make me tempt fate here, glibc. Come on. Come on, don't be shit. Right, so whilst that's doing, we just want to make 100% sure that we have this copied. I swear, every time I go to click the pause button on the recording, it speeds up, so we will return once it's done. Okay, now that this has finished, we need to once again just make 100% sure that we have copied this. It's installed, now we need to just run this. And now this is the point where we do a sanity check. So we just copy this. This should then give the output requesting program interpreter lib64 ld linux x86-64's shared object 2. And as we can see here, requesting program interpreter lib64 ld linux x86-64 shared object 2. It worked. Panic over. Breathe. Breathe. So now that we've done that, we can just clean up the test file. We'll just remove a.out. And it's removed it. And now that cross Toolchain is complete, finalize the installation of limits header. To do this, run a utility provided by the developers of GCC. Now that is done, we need to leave glibc. So we do that as just cd // remove -r glibc. Yes. Clear our screen. Come over here, and now we need to do libstandard C++ from glibc, which means we need to extract GCC. So tar-xvf GCC. Just wait for this to finish extracting. Then we need to cd into the directory. And of course we need to create a separate build directory for libstandard C++, which again is expected because it's a different section of GCC. So we copy this, just cd into GCC, drop them in, feed it the compilation instructions, wait for them to finish, and all we have to do for this is just do make, install, and remove the libarchives tool files, and then it's done. So again, most of this is just sitting around, babysitting it, and just feeding it the commands as and when we need, just to make 100% sure everything's going to work. Because if we don't do it, and we make one mistake, it's gone. No exist. It'll not exist. So again, it's just time. Make J6. That'll then fly through. Shouldn't take too long. Ah yes, atomic word indeed. Not at all panicking when it just stops and goes, atomic word. And carries on going. So, again, it's just a matter of sitting around, waiting for this to be finished. Yada, yada, yada. Again, this is to be expected. We're building an entirely new system, so it does take a little bit of time. As we can see, it took 31 seconds to do. Now that we have made, we need to install it. And then we need to remove the libtool archive files because they're harmful for cross-compilation. Now that we've done that, remove GCC, the folder, not the tar. It's going to say, it is right protected. There's not, but that's the end of this video. We've now compiled the cross toolchain, and in the next video we'll be going through the process of compiling the cross-compiling the temporary tools. Yeah. Anyway, I would like to thank you very much for watching. If you're not already subscribed, maybe consider subscribing. Consider hitting the like button if you liked it. If you disliked the video, hit the dislike button and leave me a comment saying why you didn't like it. Anyway, I have been Nick. You have been amazing, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And goodbye.